All right, got folks filing in. They will throughout the course of the broadcast. So welcome in everyone that's in right now or who's watching later when we post this on social media and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Alongside Coach Merv, I'm AJ Rick. It's another Zoom Hangout here, sponsored by XDT. Coach, it's good to see you. I told Butch the other day, I said, I feel like it's been a million years since this all happened, but I also feel like yesterday we were all on campus for games. How has this all been for you, for the family, and how things been for you the last month or two? I guess I'll start off
Right.
with that.
Well, I appreciate it. It's good to be back, to be very honest with you. We got a lot of Zoom meetings nowadays. So, now mingling with the fans and the FIU community is important. But it's, like you said, it's been, but it seemed like getting to get on the bus to go to Southern Miss, and this just hit us. So a little bit, on the downside now, we're hoping that this epidemic kind of halts a little bit and goes away. And we're spending a lot of time with the family, as you would imagine. So is everybody else. So at least something positive is coming out for the whole world that we're spending a little bit.
I think this was one of those moments in March where down the road, we're all going to remember where we were when it really hit us, that this was something big and that was going to impact us for quite a while. I was at breakfast. We were at the Conference USA basketball tournament. I was with the team, and someone said the Big 12 just canceled their tournament. And at that point, I knew, one, we were not going to play that night against Charlotte, and then about 3 hours later, we're pulling out of the hotel in Dallas to go to the airport and get back before the flights are crazy. And I'm thinking this is a surreal moment right now. You guys were heading to the airport, I think, to play Southern Miss on the road. You had just finished the games with Bethune-Cookman. I think I remember Danny Brown was DMing me on Insta asking, do you know anything? What's going on? There was a lot of uncertainty about would we even take that trip. Can you take me through what that timeline was for you guys? And I mean, I'm sure it was surreal for everyone involved.
It definitely was. And, like you said, those moments you're going to remember for the rest of your life. And I certainly do remember exactly what happened, exactly where I was, what I was doing, and what I had in my hands, and exactly probably the block into heading to the bus where I was at. So the team had already loaded the bus. They were waiting on me. I'm always the last one getting into the bus, make sure that everything is out and it's packed and whatnot. Yeah. And come out of the stadium into our area where we breakfast, and at that time I received a phone call from Pete, and everything down, and got the call. He asked me, have you guys left? I said, well, everybody's loaded up. I'm heading to the bus right now. I'm walking literally to the bus. He goes, don't go anywhere. Huh. And he said, wait on my call back. So waited for about 10 minutes. He called me back. He said, no, go, unload the bus. The season's been postponed or whatnot. We're not going anywhere. So it is surreal because I remember exactly what I was doing, exactly where I was at. And I had to deliver those news to the players. And, one in particular hit home, and you get melancholic for some of the players. And it wasn't a senior. It was one that saw probably his last game at FIU, right in front of him. And it's like, wow, this is it. Put his head down towards the back of the bus. And, rest is history. We out of the bus, and, we had to answer questions. We get back inside and exactly what's going on to stay put. And, hopefully we get back. But, it was uncertain at that time.
Yeah. And then the whirlwind obviously happened right after that in terms of spring sports being canceled the rest of the year in conference, and soon, obviously, the rest of the NCAA followed. Well, you mentioned, that emotion of the seniors. Look, that when you got here, the timeline was pretty close to when this senior class started their FIU career. They've been through a lot in their times as Panthers, many great moments. When you reflect on the moments you've been able to have with them and coaching these guys, what stands out to you, and what is the senior class in program in your opinion?
Their loyalty, their commitment to excellence, their commitment to a new system, per se, the commitment that on and off the field that they can be. I'm very, when it comes down to the process, I'm very detailed, and I want us to go through the process the right way. Through the process, there are going to be a lot of bumps in the road. It's like making a building, constructing a building. there are going to be some ugly faces in the process, and we've had our share. But throughout all of this, at the end result, you're going to see this beautiful building with beautiful windows and the curb appeal. It's going to be amazing. The landscape is going to be great. And we were hoping for that beautiful building to come out of the year this year. So I feel sad for them because they have given us much that I just don't know in which way we can repay them for the efforts, for the commitment, for all the sweat that they have thrown in that field. It's been tough thinking about them, but I know they're going to be successful. I know some of them are graduating and they're moving on to real life stuff. And of course, it's cliche, we wish them the best, but we certainly wish that we can stay in touch with them for the rest of the life.
They'll be back at the alumni game, rearing to get the alums that the big win over the current squad each and every year. They add a lot of talent to that alumni squad as we move forward. You got to stay busy. Recruiting will ensure that. Take us through kind of what this situation on how that's going about, the challenges obviously that are inherent with recruiting in this current situation that we're in right now, but also, the phone calls, they got to be made and you got to get some guys in the class. So take me through how that's all been going right now with you and your staff and how you're still trying to find some future Panthers here.
Yeah, unfortunately, that recruiting process is a little bit tougher. Everything has to be done through a phone call. You can watch so many videos now, but you really want to watch, guys in person. But we do have a list. We do have a list of players that we have seen in the past. And, from that list, we start thinking about our needs. Now, what is positive right now is that we have plenty of time to decide whether we have a need for that individual, for that position. And then we lock in on players. We're not going out. Per se, we're not going to games and liking a player and said, yeah, we want him. And then at the end said, okay, well, did we need him? Yeah. So we have enough time to plan. We are trying to do, but if we already have, and those pieces, have cut off.
Yeah.
And, sometimes in the process of the summer, it's difficult.
Well, and it's a great challenge because here's how I'll illustrate the point. If recruiting and scouting could be entirely relied upon watching film, we would never see scouts or coaches behind home plate with radar guns every other game. We're at every level of baseball. If we could just watch the tape and make your evaluation based on that. Challenging is it, in your perspective, to have to not be able to go to the behind home plate and see a pitcher's velo and his arm slot in person, or talk to a guy and see his character up in person. And how tough is it as a coach to try to make these evaluations on the internet or on the phone?
Right. Well, extremely tough. And I've said this many times to my staff. I said, your eyes are not going to lie to you. You know what you see, and you know what you see. They're not lying to you. So the fun part of recruiting is seeing the players and visualizing what they would look like with you. And 2 years later, 3 years later, whenever they get to you, that's really what's fun, that you get to evaluate what the future could be. Now that's out the window. Now it's done through phone calls, through some videos, and you can't really visualize a player taking BP, having one at bat, because you want to see failure. I mean, it sounds crazy, but when you want to see them fail, to see what are the things that they need to improve on. Are they going to be able to improve those things based on your evaluation? Because if all you see is success, you don't really know. You don't know the things that, well, his deficiencies are this. Can we help him with those deficiencies? And if we are, if we believe that we're capable of helping every player, then we'll recruit him based on the strengths and weaknesses that every player has. So that is what's people realize, like, oh, this player is phenomenal. He doesn't get out. Well, he's going to get out sooner or later. Yeah. How does it react? Can you minimize the times that they get out? Can you minimize the balls that a pitcher throws? Can you help them develop into a better pitcher with a slider, with a changeup? Those are the evaluations that are crucial, that are actually fun, because it's you evaluating one player. And oftentimes we're right and sometimes we're wrong, but that's
well, I love that you mentioned the failure aspect of it, because that reminds me, a coach told me once, look, if a guy in baseball's all about failure. If a guy fails at the plate 7 out of 10 times his whole life, he's going to be making $200 million in the big leagues. That means he's hitting 300 his entire career, and that'll make you a lot of money. Baseball is a game of failure. That's a funny point that you made there. When you're talking with the guys on your team, Zoom calls are a fixture of things now. What's the verve you get, Merv? When I talked with Jonathan Cyprian on one of these FIU podcasts, he's our highest NFL draft pick. We were noting how, like, look, for athletes, for coaches, look, life is goal driven, right? Short-term goals, long-term goals. There's always the pursuit of something, especially in athletics. So when all that's taken away, I feel motivation can evaporate just like that too, especially for baseball players right now. Because summer baseball, that's hit or miss right now too. I've seen some push back to July 1st, but that's no slam dunk either. So what are you getting? How do you manage, motivation, staying sharp during probably the first time in all these guys' lives when, they can set a goal, but who knows when they'll be able to try to execute.
Well, it was easy when everything was kind of postponed.
Yeah.
That everyone was excited. It's like, we're going to get back on the field, hopefully. So they're working hard. Now that everything has been canceled, summer league time has been canceled, you kind of lose the inspiration. And I'm not saying that we lose them, but we lose the drive to competitors. So why the call is important, because you want them to be driven. You want them not just for the baseball aspect of it, but continue to train, continue to train their mind, continue to train, physically a bit, do a much better job with time management that you have. You'll have a lot of time now. So this is a time that you that, because when it gets to our real life again, time management is very important. So the motivation factor is tough, but you can definitely work on things that are going to help you. Your work ethic, whether it's in the classroom, whether it's in the house, whether it's in the baseball field, doesn't change and shouldn't change. So what's in you is in you, and on and off the field, that's who you're going to be. So I think, continuing to get better, and that aspect is important. Just, this is, baseball is about life. It goes back to, I was a baseball player. I'm going to be successful if I took baseball the right way, and if I worked really hard at it, and if I was smart, and if I was a good teammate and I managed my time properly, I think I'm going to be successful in life. So they got to think about that.
And I tell you what, I bet also when these guys, if they're able to take BP or just fields to grounds, they forget for that hour so that there's a pandemic going on. I know running's the best part of it. I forget that there's something going on outside in the world when we're doing what we love to do. We'd love to do our entire life. All right, Coach, I got to ask you, with the complete lack of live sports, we've finally gotten a reprieve with the KBO, the Korean Baseball Organization. Live sports has been brought back to us from South. I stayed up till 1 a.m. the other night watching the ND Dinos, I think, and the Samsung Lions, I think, were the two teams. I watched 4 innings of it. You taking in any South Korean baseball right now? Does that help get the fix a little bit? Just tell me if you've been watching any of that.
I saw the highlights, but here's, I talk about the time management. I'm trying to do a much better job going to bed a little bit earlier.
Really?
Yeah, during the season, recruiting, those days are very, very long. So I'm trying to do a much better job, going to bed at a decent time. So I haven't seen it, just so, I'll give you the long answer for it.
Yeah.
But that's the thought process. I thought about it last night, and I was like, you know what? I should be playing. And my body's now getting used to it.
Wow.
Going to bed at a decent time. I said, midnight, 12:30 is a decent time. But it was pretty bad. The goal, your mind is always racing. It's about recruiting. So it's kind of tough, when you're in the grind. But now that I have had a little time, I can manage my time. I talked about that. I can manage my time a little bit better. So I haven't seen it.
Good on you, Merv. I've fallen into the trap. 2 a.m. going to bed and sleeping in a little bit. This might earlier. I'm in Central Time right now, so I got up at 8:30 today, and I put together. I think that's the earliest I've gotten up during this entire thing. I need to get up and work out in the mornings or something. It's too hot when I'm waiting all day after sleeping in. Okay, so you're recruiting, you're staying busy, you're getting to bed at a manageable time. you got a Netflix show? You got a show on Hulu? You getting any binge watching of some television on the side, or
I think everybody has
not
done
really?
it. Now you're gonna put me in the spot. Everybody has done it.
Okay, yeah, I'm everybody. So and everybody's had a list of shows they've been tuned into.
So here's I'm on.
Okay,
we watched the All American, the whole entire series. Which
I haven't watched it. I've heard a lot about that. Yep.
Phenomenal. Didn't like the ending, and I'm not going to spoil it for anyone. Didn't like the ending, but I know there's a season 3, so we get to watch it. I started watching Blacklist, which one of my assistants told me you got to watch it. It's really interesting, and it's extremely interesting. I'm not into the all the crime scene and all that stuff. I'm not into that, but it's very interesting. And now this is what's going to be judged, but I watch a lot of TV with my wife, and sometimes I want to watch it, sometimes I don't, but I fall into the trap of being there with her. We got to watch the 90 Day
I was thinking it. No. I've been roped into that too, Coach. There's no shade. I mean, it's fascinating. It's fascinating. You've got the guy who gave his girlfriend hygiene products as a gift. You have the guy that went to
He goes, hey, I like you.
The guy that went to Ukraine to see the girl that wouldn't respond to him.
Never saw
her.
Knocked on the door, and the guy comes out like, I don't know what you're talking about.
The Nigerian family that does not want to give their blessing to the older American lady. I mean, this is a lot of fun.
It is. I'm falling in the trap.
I'm there too.
So we, there's a new show, and my wife loves The Bachelor and The Bachelorette and all that stuff, and something is singing to my heart.
Merv, we're on the same page here, man. Yeah, I've been watching that too, and I think it's better than all the other Bachelors.
It is.
I think it's a nice little twist. So, this is fascinating.
Do not judge me. Don't judge. No.
Merv, we got to start. We got to start a podcast. We got to start a 90-day fiance review podcast. We'll climb the charts. We'll climb the Apple charts in a heartbeat. That's fantastic. I'm glad I asked that. I'm not alone in watching some television where I may lose a couple brain cells. But man, it's so
sure. We're not utilizing the right ones too.
That's great. That's awesome, Merv. Well, I'll leave you with this here as we wrap up. First of all, thanks for taking some time, and thanks for everyone who's joined in here or watching on social media. I saw an article on ICYMI.com, and it made me laugh. We're about 2 months into this, right? And so when it all started, man, Zoom happy hours, we were up and at 'em like, oh, I got invited to another Zoom happy hour. Oh, I'm going to get out and work out today. Yeah, I'm going to be productive. We're 2 months into this now, and it's like, no, I'm gonna just watch some TV instead of having this happy hour. We're 8 weeks into this. What's coming up for you in the next week or two? Anything interesting? You got any plans? Or just recruiting? What's coming up here?
Well, I'll tell you what. A lot of the projects at the house need to be done.
Yeah, we got time.
So,
yeah.
Here's a problem that when I'm in season, I can't do them right. The summer comes, I got to do recruiting, right? When I finish recruiting, I need a couple of days off to recruit. Then we get the fall training, so I never get to do. So we have a little list of things that I can do that I'm able to do. I'm not the best handyman, but that I'm able to do that I got to check off the list. And that whole thing, recruiting has to intensify because I don't. Luckily it doesn't look like we're going to get out anytime soon. So let's start working on that. So I imagine that the next 2 weeks are going to be very tough. Identifying through Zoom some of the prospects, going through the list. So that's going to be a little tough. And you know what? Just praying that it all goes away and then we get back to our normal. I've done more grocery shopping with my wife that I've ever done in my life, and I'm willing to do that because that's time that you spend with your wife that. Otherwise, at this time, I wouldn't be able to do so. So we're doing a lot together that we need to do, and walking the dog every morning. And sometimes in the evening if it feels like going out. So a little bit of the same, but hopefully we get back to normal.
The family time that's a terrific benefit of all this. You could say the extra family time here.
Spending time with the boys has been amazing.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
And
And
to
Jaden.
be in the team right now as well. And Jaden, of course, finishing up his high school season right now, but spending time with them every single day, watching them, praying with them, kissing them at night. It's been invaluable, and something that, if it's going to get to this, I'd rather spend it with my family for sure. And, the time that is tough for everyone. So, but hopefully, like I said.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. But, even in Miami-Dade, parks are starting to slowly open. We're seeing gradual reopening. So hopefully within a couple of weeks back, everything is slowly can keep reopening in phases and we can start getting back to normal here soon. So we're looking forward to that. In the meantime, being as productive as possible. Merv, appreciate the time. It's been great to catch up. Like I said, it feels like it's been a million years, but it was like yesterday when this all started. But buddy, thanks for taking some time, and I'm sure we'll talk soon here. All right, be well.
Thank you.
All right, thanks everybody. We'll talk soon. Paul's up.